Gays know, like the Rice Queens and shit. It's like
The
they're like
what? The rice? Oh,
the Rice
oh,
Queens, like
oh.
their
They
own.
like
They fetishize the Asians and
the
like.
Labubu
Yeah,
collectors.
they like treat you. They treat you like a fucking like. I was
La-
joking with Emily. It was like during Glamcox, and I've seen like so many of like ex situationships, and I'm like, not them with their Labubu collection. Literally like Temu versions of me walking around like skedaddling around, and I'm like, what the fuck?
the Labubu.
I mean, am I lying? We both were like screaming it, and I
Yeah.
had to write it in my notes so I didn't forget it. Hello, girly pop. Welcome back to another episode of Definitely Delusional. My name is Dean.
And I'm Emily.
Look at this shirt. Definitely delusional. I cut it into a little croppy, but I don't want to get banned, so I'm gonna hide a little bit. But definitely delusional. The merch is coming soon.
Can you believe we're getting merch?
Everyone looked at me during Pride like I was a crazy, or they were like, maybe not crazy, but they looked at me like, oh, your shirt, like, or they were like very complimentary. Like some guy was like, yes,
Like it's actually my podcast.
is that my podcast? Me telling everybody and their mothers, she can attest to this. Everyone, they were like looking at my shirt. I was like, yeah, it's my podcast with Emily right here, right
And
here.
people are like, oh, another podcast, great.
Yeah, it's like that memes where it's like the Overheard LA, where it's like, oh, what does he do? He has a podcast. Me.
Okay, funny. Speaking of Overheard LA, this is Overheard LA. And then the shirt I got that says, of course, LA is a hard place to live. It's filled with people that are too good for their hometowns.
Oh, airdrop me your merch.
No, it's true. If there ever is a time I'm gonna go on a date again, that man better have his read receipts in his birth chart. You better call your
Have
mother.
you actually done that?
I have absolutely on dates gone through birth charts with men. I'm like, what time were you born? They're like, okay, I already know my big three. I was like, we need the rest. I was like, big three is a good place to start, but we're gonna figure out what your
I need
Mars
yeah,
and your
right.
Venus. I'm gonna figure out your Mercury. I'm gonna figure out like how the hell you deal with certain things.
Emily's like, bitch, I need to know your north and south node. I need to
Yeah,
know your
I
karma
want
from
to
your
know
past
your
life.
Lilith. I want to know everything about you. Like I am full blown looking through.
Aw,
I need to know.
love.
I mean, I think obviously like people are going to be compatible if they want to make it work, and you have to work through things that you might be a little bit different on. I'm not going to subscribe to like, I do feel it's weird for me personally. I feel like a lot of fire sign men, like at least like the sun sign fire sign men are very attracted to me, but sometimes it's a very contentious relationship. But I feel like
I'm very fire.
you are very fire. That's probably
That's probably why we work so well, but like friends wise, because I think like when emotions, like in terms of like not like the love, because we love each other, but I think when it comes like to the bedroom stuff, it's like that's like when you like, because once we start taking someone seriously, we become psych ward escapees, right?
I know. I hate it. Yeah. I found by and large, there are certain signs. If you have it in your big three, we're getting on like house on fire. Like
Mine is all
intense. I know you're a stellium. You're a Sag stellium.
I'm crazy. My chart is literally insane like me, but
I'm double water earth, and I found that certain signs that I overlap with certain placements. If you got some Scorpio and Cancer in your big three, it's on.
I'm like missing one.
It's
one of the
so
elements.
On.
I'm missing one of the elements.
It might be water. I don't know if you have any water in your chart. I'm missing
so
fire.
Thirsty.
I said thirsty. Yes.
I mean, listen. Okay, so this episode is sponsored by what? Overheard LA or Airdrop?
Airdrop.
No, just kidding. You have such good airdrop stories. My airdrop story. The last time I airdropped somebody something, I accidentally did it. This was like when I lived in Hollywood, and I've airdropped like pictures to my friends. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the embarrassing ass airdrop stories. I was in my old apartment in Hollywood, and I accidentally airdropped. I was trying to airdrop my nudes to my computer, and I airdropped them to my neighbor. Why did they accept them? And so now they're just living somewhere.
They're living in the clouds somewhere.
They're waiting for teens to get their hands on it one day. Oh my God, it's going to come out in the future like a scandal. It's going to be like from years ago. They're like, I received this airdrop years ago.
All right. So I have a hard and fast rule. I have a hard and fast rule about nudes. Hard and fast rule is don't send your face.
I never send my face.
Don't send your face unless you want to pull a Kris Kardashian and you know if that shit got leaked, you'd make money off of it.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
not famous
oh
enough
no,
for
no,
that
no,
yet.
not even make money, but like, if there was a nude that was leaked of you and it was
People
like
cared.
hot and editorial, and you'd be getting some offers to get more work. So if you're that confident about your nudes and you're gonna send your whole ass face and you're gonna be full frontal and you're gonna like full send it, you better send it knowing that like if this gets leaked, I'm not ashamed of it. Like, I look great. And if you don't have that mindset and there's any ounce of hesitation, do not send your face. Don't.
I
Because
mean, yeah,
you gotta write that cat. That
I
you
would
gotta cash
never.
that check and you
I
better
would
go
never do
write
it
it.
until people care enough. Because
Yeah.
honestly, at this point, I'm like, if mine did, I'm like, okay, who cares? I'm trying to do like the PR brain where it's like, people need to care enough. And then
Yeah.
I'll give it to my team, like, girl, leak it.
Yeah. It's just not all nudes are created equal. And I feel
This
like
is
when it
true.
comes to women, like women in their nudes, they look gorgeous. They're like goddesses.
Oh, yeah,
They
dicks
got
are
the right
ugly.
lighting. And guys, it's just like meh. It's like a naked mole rat. It's just fucking like there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
could we have zhuzhed it a little? Could we have like
Or it looks like it's
could
from a
we
camera from like the iPhone 3GS.
or you're like your hands making it look bigger than it actually is. Like that angle doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. But also, it's like, baby girl. But like, I do love a not us. Like, why did this episode suddenly turn into that? But it's okay. We'll get into it. I
It
love it
does
when
all
they're.
kind of make sense.
It does
It
actually.
actually does make
Yeah,
sense.
it will make sense to y'all in a sec. But like, I love it when people actually do have their hands in their photos because you can tell someone's biological age from their hands.
Oh wow, like rings on a tree. Oh shit, do I have like
No, because no, but you know what I'm talking about when their skin looks like leather, but they're like, and it's
oh
like, and they don't send their thing, and like, I can tell. I'm like, baby, you are not what you say on your profile. You are not 32. Be so fucking for real. Your skin looks like you just like had baby oil boiling on your skin. Like,
oh,
no,
wear
that's what I appreciate.
sunscreen.
I know.
Wear
I
sunscreen.
mean, but that's the thing. They used to have to use baby oil in the past. That's why I know. I can tell a baby oil tan when I see one.
Yeah, I'll go down to Florida. Everyone looks like a fucking raisin. They all look like leather. It's crazy. Not all. Okay, that's an over exaggeration, but you can tell people that have just baked in the sun, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
The more I'm looking at us, like from the last episode, and now I'm like comparing. I'm
do
like,
we look old?
I've gotten really tan.
You are really. I know. I play.
Holy fuck.
Wear sunscreen.
I do.
Okay, good.
But I've been just laying out in the sun lately, which I mean,
Well, I need to. Clearly, I've been inside too much because
you need to burn with me.
I know. I know. Put that on the vision board. Getting really tan.
I don't even have a vision board anymore because I'd be blind to these men. And I just don't have the oomph in me anymore to have a vision board.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, you'll find the umph inside of you. It lives inside of you. You're listening to the self doubt.
Yeah, I mean,
You're
yes
listening
and
to
no.
it.
Yes and no. Yes, I am. Yeah, I am. I'm
Yeah.
denying it a little bit. But
Hmm.
then, yeah, anyway.
So what's going on? What's going on with you?
Leading up to this episode, I feel like Prime Month is a good month to be like all up in our feels, right? And so I came across this video that like, it wasn't even a sad video, okay? It was not a sad video. But I kind of got sad about it because it like stirred something in me. You know, when
Yeah,
something's like,
triggered something.
and again, something you get triggered on, it's like what you're not really dealing with, or you've dealt with it, but it just comes up here and there, and you like have been feeling that way. For me, it was like the video was like this girl saying like she's so tired of, and I think this can apply to anyone too. But that's why I resonated with so much because it could apply to anyone. But this girl was like, "Oh, like I'm so tired of being lusted over versus loved." And the
Mm.
way I almost broke down because that's like literally how I've been feeling. I think this past even year, like, or just like getting back into the dating scene because I had like a dating hiatus for a long time. I mean, long time. I mean, long, like crickets, like not even crickets, like the desert, like the whoosh, like the thing just like flying, like
Tumbleweeds?
tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds.
Bitch, I'm not from the West. I don't know.
Those will fuck your car up. Do
Yeah.
not drive into one. That'll completely fuck your
Yeah,
car
it
up.
like
So
tumbleweeds, girl. Like that's how long. But like, I think once I started getting back into it, was reminded immediately why. Because like, as much as I could love myself, I think being lusted over is one of the worst things that can happen. Not happen, but like to feel until you really find
yeah.
your person. And I think that's like a deeper conversation too. Because I think because I'm not like a white gay man as an Asian gay, it's like sometimes people can fetishize you,
Hmm.
the same way that like men like fetishize women, or
Oh
like portray them in a certain way. And I think it could also
yeah.
happen to white men as well if like, they're being projected onto like where someone has like an image of like corn that they see online and then projecting
Yeah.
that onto someone else. But in my case, I think it's like more so like the lust of like, it just doesn't feel good to be someone's dopamine hit all the time.
Yeah, it's a shitty feeling. I think it's really complex. And I can only talk on my lived experience. Like I can't talk for you on yours. And it's so difficult to unwrap your brain around what
Yeah,
it's like
it is.
to be objectified. Like, women, we are objectified a lot. And like it feels like our sexuality is not really ours. Like there's this idea of what is sexy and like how you're supposed to be sexy, but then you can't be too sexy, or you have to like, there's just like this fine line, this impossible standard of, you want to make choices that feel authentic with your sexuality. But, if you have sex with a guy too soon, they're going to leave you. But if you wait too long and you make him wait, they're going to leave you. And like, there isn't really ever a good answer of like, what you should or shouldn't do. And I don't think that life has a rule book like that, but it does become extremely, extremely confusing. And I very much know how it feels when, you're really getting along with a guy and, why is it that I'm good enough to be in your bed, but you don't even want to sit across from me in public at dinner? And it's
Yeah.
like, wait a fucking minute. Like, wait, hold the fucking phone. Like, we get along, we make each other laugh, it's good company, everything is great. But what is the problem? And at this point, why I've disengaged really entirely from dating is, and that aspect is because it never really made me feel great. And it was like, but why am I trying to twist myself in knots to prove that I'm worthy of someone else's affection? And I'm like, you know what? I like myself enough. I know I'm a fucking good person. And
Yeah.
you clearly have never had any complaints. Trust me.
I mean,
I know
yeah,
you're not complaining.
I
So
that's the thing.
it has to be, there's something more. And like, I can't hold the bag for somebody else's issues, and I'm not going to beg.
But it sucks though, to be on the
Oh,
receiving end of it because
that's
it's like, why
horrible.
am I getting the brunt of like all of this?
Yeah.
What's that song? Oh my God, Adele. Not me getting into my Adele
Oh
feelings. It
fuck, we're
was
back
like
to Adele.
something. Okay, she was like something. The brunt of it all, or like something in
Yeah.
her like "I Drink Wine" song or whatever. But it's like you get the brunt of it all from like the person or like their shit, and like you feel bad about yourself.
Well, yeah.
And like the part of the video that fucked me up was, I think it's like it's a question I would ask too. It's like how you're feeling, like if you use it as a metaphor for the things that you kind of feel bad for. She's like, do you even know I like to crochet?
Like, yeah.
Do you even know I like books? Like, do you even know, like, it's like, I'm tired of, like, and that's where the lust part comes in because it's like they see you as like a projection of what they want and like they project it onto you, expecting you to do all these things. And like, I think, like, I'm not saying it's probably more in the gay community. Maybe it's because I've experienced it more, but I know that like
Mm.
sometimes I can't wear whatever I want because I will be lusted over because, like, let's say, even at Pride, like if I wear a crop top and like short shorts, like random men will be grabbing me. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing that to like just anyone. It's like, why? It's like, and but then if I wear like jeans and then like I wear a sweater, like no attention on me. But it's like, why would I want to not dress up nice for something just because I might get lusted over? And it just gets so exhausting for me because I think I've been struggling with that a lot too. And it's like, again, y'all know I'm not perfect. Like, I've been struggling a lot, and you know this. I've been struggling a lot with like,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel good enough for me, but then sometimes when I do start taking people seriously and men seriously, I start feeling like I'm so good. Like, I'm not good enough to love. I'm only good enough to like be in bed with.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well, that's not, that's not any reflection on you. I also very much, this resonates in heterosexual places with women not
you
being
know,
able to wear what they want
yeah,
because it's a safety precaution, like it's safety.
yeah.
Because if something happens to you, what were you
And you know
wearing?
what?
What did you do to make him act out of pocket? And it's like, I go into, if that were the case and it was what you were wearing, why am I not being harassed with lesbians? Why am I not getting grabbed at by other women who have same sex attraction to me? It's a fucking bullshit. It's always been the bullshit narrative. I could literally rant about this for forever. Um, but you know, I also agree with the point. And oh my god, I'm gonna like lose my train of thought. But oh, here it is. Here it is. I think the because I walk through life differently, I know that there are some men out there that just view me as this like sex object or someone that's really great to be in bed with and
Yeah.
like our chemistry is great. But I don't look at other people and be like, well, they're just a fuck or they're just a this or what can I extract from them energetically or like what can I get from them? Well, what am I going to say to get them in my bed? And it can be as deceitful or it can be like promising things I don't intend on following through and just kind of treating people like shit to get what I want. I don't operate in life that way. And it's unfortunate that people that are operating like that think that they can treat us that way. But once again, that's a sad way to live and a
Yeah.
transactional way to live. And I don't think
Transactional.
these people deep down are very happy. I couldn't imagine having that behavior be my character and me look at myself in the mirror and feel good about myself. Like, I could not imagine. That makes you feel temporarily powerful. But what happens at the end of the day when someone discards you like that?
I
It
mean,
doesn't feel good.
but I think that's the problem where it's like the people doing the discarding don't ever get discarded because they might be like,
Mm,
I mean, it depends on, I guess, the situation we're talking about, but I guess
yeah.
like the gays know, like the rice queens and shit. It's like
The
they're like
what? The rice? Oh,
the rice
oh,
queens, like
oh.
they're
They
all
like
they fetishize the Asians and
the
like
Labubu
yeah,
collectors.
they like treat you they treat you like a fucking like I was joking with
Lab-
Emily. It was like during Glamcox and I've seen like so many of like ex situationships and I'm like not them with their Labubu collection. Literally like Timu versions of me walking around like skedaddling around and I'm like, what the fuck?
the Labubu.
I mean, am I lying? We both were like screaming it, and I
No,
had to write it in my notes so I didn't forget it.
that's horrible. That's horrible. I do think though that there is a psychology of people that discard other people like that. There's usually some heartbreak that happened years ago where there was like, oh, the first girl broke my heart and they never got fucking over it, or like the first I had this like horrible breakup, or and then they turn that pain into this like entity that drives them, and then all they know how to do is hurt other people because they're so hurt and they've not coped with the fact that the person that their first love or like their whatever long-term partnership didn't work out, so that because they're just so upset about it, they're just like going on and like treating people like a revolving door. And I don't think they're that happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think
I
it's
just
like,
don't.
ugh, I think it's also one of those things where it's like, I don't care if you have a type. I think it's like, I think the thing that concerns me the most is more so when like the food they eat, the people, their friends, all their boyfriends, all their exes, everyone is like Asian. Like for me, I'm speaking
Yeah.
specifically. I'm like, that's like weird. That's like diversify
Yeah.
yourself, you know? But like I guess like okay, yeah, like maybe like the whole like exotic thing is attractive, but like girl, it's like it makes me feel like fucking shit and I feel like some days I've spoken to my therapist in lengths about this and we've been trying to unpack this for 10 years. So, I mean, I've unpacked a lot of it. I think some it
Mm.
doesn't really it affects me sometimes and especially when I've been like, going on dates and whatever, but I think like a lot of it makes me feel like at the end of the day I might have to end up with someone who only like fetishizes Asian. Like, it's because no one else will ever find me that way.
No, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. The right person's going to find you. And, you know, when you're not out projecting that you want it, you're not going to
Yeah.
attract the wrong people. And there are people that, I mean, that they're just predatory people,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just are. And like that is their nature. They're going to latch on to whatever they think that they can sink their claws into and, you know, get away with whatever they can get away with. And that's not any indication. Like those people clearly are not well and they need some intensive help. But to
Yeah.
think that you are not lovable the way you are because you're not living up to some standard that somebody else set. That if you were to even live up to that standard, would you even be happy with the person that you're twisting yourself into knots to be?
Oh no, yeah, I've like done it in the
Fuck
past,
that.
and I know I wouldn't be happy. Like I
Mm-hmm.
did tell you this. Well, maybe like people from my past kind of know this, but even in college, like the beginning of college when I moved to LA, I like wore blue contacts. I looked kind of scary. I like dyed my
Like a
hair.
White Walker. You
No,
look
like
like a fucking White
no,
Walker.
I'll literally show you like pictures later, but like it was like looking back, I'm like, damn, you were so unhappy with yourself that like you had to do shit like that. And like that's why I'm like I really understand projection because,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I don't really dye my hair anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like my hair like this. It's like
I like your
whatever.
hair. I think it looks good
It's
dark.
like I just like leave it dark. Like I used to bleach it a lot, but I'm like, first of all, that's a lot of work and I don't have that, not in this economy.
Oh, and it's not good for your hair to
It's
bleach.
not.
It strips your hair of like the proteins, and it's not great for your
Yeah.
hair to do
But
that.
I
But
think yeah, all the standards and stuff, like at the end of the day, I know I say this and like it's like I hope, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like people are always like,
yeah,
you'll find it when it happens and stuff. And I think I need to take a like a little like
yeah,
break from like just
yeah.
the dating, just because I think it's tiring me out and making me forget who I am. Not forget who I am, but these past like 3 months I've been like on clearance.
You don't ever want to be in clearance. You're full price.
Yeah.
Don't ever let anyone make you feel like your last season. Don't ever. Well, and that's the thing is what I've found with me in this like pattern that I'm seeing kind of a lot is like men will be very very interested at the beginning, like they are like infatuated, they're so interested, they
Yeah.
like my energy, they like whatever vibe I'm putting out, and then we kind of get to know each other and we have good conversations and they get to know my character and they get to know like who I am deep down, and they know
Yeah.
like, and then all of a sudden like some,
Poof.
I'm just like I don't know how the switch got flipped. There's never anything wrong that happens. It's there's never an argument, there's never a big like conflict in terms of personalities, or there's never even a night that goes weird or bad or anything. Something just happens, and I've tried to rationalize it, and I've just come to terms to accept I will never have the answers, and I'm not going to seek them out either.
Because seeking them out made us
It's to,
both miserable.
yeah, and it's just like, for what? So I can sit there and be anxious and like, whether or not that's limerence, that it's limerence, and then they get to know me and then they don't like who I am based off their projection of who they think I am, or whether it's something else that's going on in their personal life. Like, I'm not responsible for that.
You're not
I'm
responsible
not
for that.
responsible for
You're
that.
not.
And also, I'm not going to take it fucking personally. Like,
But it's hard not to, I feel like
yeah.
too, which is the thing that fucks me up the most
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's one of those things where it's easy. And I know I do give advice online, whatever, like my videos, whatever, but like I think it's easier said than done, right? But in terms of like, yes, we can like talk about it, but like I think in the moment, that's why you need to have like friends next to
Yeah.
you to listen to you because I think when that happens, you cannot help it but to be like, am I not worth getting to know? Like, is
Yeah.
is who I am that ugh? Like,
No.
like like what's that repulsive that like people once they get to know me, they're like poof be gone. And so, but like I think you need to like if you're going through that, like bring yourself back from that because I think we both have like gone through spirals like that, in our head, and it's like,
Yeah. Yeah,
what the
and then
hell?
like my self-worth is getting caught up whether or not some fucking arbitrary man wants to choose me. And if I'm not chosen, that's indicative that like I'm not pretty or I'm not interesting, I'm not smart. It's like that's like total bullshit. I mean, dating in LA is hard. Dating anywhere is hard, but in LA it's especially hard. There's a bunch of attractive people running around. There's like interesting people that do creative shit, but like I can't compete with everyone, nor do I want to. I'm in my own lane, doing my own thing, like being who I am. And, the right person will be so interested and they'll want to co create something beautiful with me. But until then, like I'm creating my life as authentic, and I can't, I can't stop doing that because I'm afraid that, I'm not worthy of a romantic relationship. And it's like, I'm just enjoying the now, because looking to the future distracts from the now. And every chapter in my life is a chapter that's supposed to be here for a reason. And maybe this is like the growth period,
Yeah, I mean,
the
I think
internal work period.
I'm kind of like at that point too. But like I think like I've been like finally at I think like these past like not even just this recently, but like past 4 years too. It's like I've been in therapy for almost 10 years, right? And I think the beginning was more so unpacking it all. Because I think people don't give themselves enough grace where like they're unpacking everything they've like repressed, right? And they're like, why am I not healing? Why am I not healing? Babe, you have to like gut all of that shit out first, and then you take it block by block and try to like, figure out what the hell is going on. And I think it is a growth period, but I think, girl, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
tired.
exhausting.
I know that people don't believe me when I say this, which also fucks me up a little bit, which I'm gonna rant about a little bit for a hot sec.
Go for it.
But it's like because they see me as like, I think it's like this whole idea that Asians are more feminine, Asians are more like docile, whatever. So like when I do like dress up in certain ways, or like I do like talk to people, they're like, oh, you're definitely 100% a sub bottom or like a bottom, right? I'm like, girl, no. That's number one. But also number two, it's like that comes from like way back when like the white men were galloping across China just raping.
Yeah, I know. It's
But anyway, it's
crazy.
anyway, the docileness, it's like whatever. And like I feel like a lot of people do a lot of like overcompensating of like
Yeah.
their masculinity too, especially like Asian sometimes, like them wanting to like bulk and like do all these things. I'm like, it's
Hmm.
because they feel like the media doesn't portray them as masculine as other men, which I'm glad the media is changing a lot though. Like with
Yeah.
that, how like roles are being casted and everything. But I think with that being said too, it's like I think I give off this vibe, and a lot of my friends have told me this too. They're like, you give off like very fun energy vibes, like hoe vibes, but you're actually very wholesome, like as a person. And I'm not talking
Hmm.
about like the disgusting whatever y'all
He's
are.
wholesome.
Yeah, no, but like wholesome as like I'm a very like I want to like live on a farm. Like I want to have that family. Like because I feel
Hmm.
like grew up in a broken one. I want that family. I want kids. I want like
Hmm.
that house with a yard. Like I'm very simple when it comes down to it. I'm very simple. And like that's why like I think like environments that used to like bring me a lot of joy, like in college, now I could do it here and there, like clam cocks, whatever. Like I could do that once in a blue moon, but
Hmm.
even you can attest to this. You don't see me in downtown LA. Like I just can't.
Yeah, that's way more my scene. Way more my
But
scene.
like for me, it's like, see, but like that's the thing. Everyone's different, but they expect me. That's the part that bothers me. They expect me to want to enjoy that.
And it's if it's not for you, it's not for you. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I think it's like kind of in the same thread of people expect you to be a certain way. It's like society expects me to be a certain way,
Yeah.
and I've found that like I will butt heads. I inherently do not get along with heterosexual men that are like extremely, extremely dominant, extremely like alpha, which I think is it's the weakest shit I've ever fucking
If
seen.
you have to
It's
label your masculinity, you're not that masculine.
no. I find that the healthiest men to surround yourself with in my formative experience is men that embrace those feminine traits as well as masculine traits and that quiet power. Like they're the most masculine, the most dominating, the most strong men are the men that aren't yelling the loudest. They're not telling you what you should think. They're not telling you what you should do. They're not telling you what a man looks like. They just are, and they're that quiet power that you're like, no, this person is like stable, this person is empathetic, this person is receptive, which are quote unquote feminine traits. They are all those things: intuitive, emotional, respectful, those are feminine, not dominating, controlling, assertive, violent. Those are masculine but not healthy masculine traits. There's that balance of like, this is a very assertive person without being aggressive. This person's presence, you can feel, you trust that this person has things going on, that this is a safe energy. And I found that, you know, people that embody all of those characteristics are the ones that I innately am drawn to. And I've always been that way.
Yeah.
And there's this, thing with men, like there's like certain apps, like you have ones that are for people that are a little bit more sex positive, and there's like so many people on the apps that are like they just demand dominance, and I'm like, you whoa.
I'm
Like
like,
even
whoa,
on
babe.
or even on dates too, like not in those apps, like just in life, like they expect to be like that their birthright is to be the dominant person and that women are submissive. I'm like, have you
I'm like,
you're
bitch.
barking up the wrong
I'm like, bitch.
tree.
If you're gonna do that, you better start acting that way.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm just like, this your dominance over me is not your fucking birthright. Like
yeah,
let's hold up.
like
Like I'm pushing back and I'm setting a boundary, and like you don't get to treat me in certain ways and you don't know me. You're like, you're not getting access to me if you think you're entitled to it. It's
I think
crazy.
some people have taken I think people have taken free will too seriously,
Yeah.
you know, because it's like, yeah, you have free will, right? But babe, you can't treat people like that. It's like, because a lot of people like live life without consequences because they've grown up without
Mm-hmm.
consequences their whole life. And I think that's where it comes from a lot of the time too. Because like, even some of like, I don't know about straight dating apps, but even like some of the gay ones too, it's like the way that some men demand you, like,
Mm-hmm.
demand you to like send me the, like, I'm like,
That
they're like,
same.
now. And I'm like,
No.
I was like, are you good? And then what makes me laugh even more, the DL men, they demand a picture from me.
No.
My face is literally on my profile, their empty profile. They demand a photo from me. I'm like, that's
No.
crazy business. You having a blank profile and then asking me to send you a photo. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, it's entitlement. It's people, not viewing you as a human, not viewing you as
Again,
somebody.
lusted over.
Yeah, and it's a really shitty experience when you're like, "Oh, so I'm just this like object to you." Okay. So when you're done, you're going to discard me and not even take in consideration that I am a person who has feelings, who has a past, who has an opinion. Like you really think that you are that omnipotent. You think you are that special. And I really think at the end of the day, once again, these people are not very happy or secure people because happy and secure people don't view other people as disposable goods. That is not a very healthy way to view the world. And that's a very sad transactional way to view the world. And if you're
Yeah.
somebody who views sex as like transactional and you view like women as just objects that are meant to serve you, like, don't ever come fucking crawling to me because
Don't come near us.
don't you ever come near
Because
me.
what does
I'll
my
shut.
shirt say? I'm definitely delusional, babe.
Delusional.
I'll
Yeah.
pop all four tires. I will find your parents. I will find your grandparents' grave. I will find their ashes.
You find a lot of, I mean, you could have worked for the FBI.
Listen,
You're
babe,
pretty
the
good.
person she introduced me to, hopefully he's not listening to this. Oh my God, I'm praying.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, no, it's fine though
But
because
he was
he's
sociopathic.
no, no, but he was like, the thing is, like, I give, again, I don't hold on, like, I don't really react either because I love to give people grace, but maybe that's my issue. I give him grace because I'm like, you know what? He came to Pride alone. Maybe he was feeling whatever. But the way that it was kind of just like, he was answering for me again, like it kind of reminded me of the example you said where it's like men are like feeling dominant and stuff, where it's like, but he came to her being like, oh, I'm shy, and I was like, he is
That's what a
not shy.
snake. Like, that's
And then
weird.
he came to me and was like, oh, he texted me and was like, you should come like wherever I'm staying, and I was like, oh, maybe, but I want to stick with my friends because I want to have fun with my friends. He was like, so yes, you're coming. Where the fuck did you get that from?
No.
Also,
Mm.
I'm FBI because I found out he has a husband and he has a dog, and yeah, it was just like,
Woof.
you didn't think to disclose
May
that?
that
And
love
he lied.
never find me.
May that love never fucking find me. The way I blocked this man so fucking fast, and that's a good thing. Like sometimes, thank God he wasn't hot. I mean, that hot. Like where it's like
He was
he was
cute.
cute, but he wasn't like the one. Like yeah, he wasn't like
He was
my ex
cute.
situationship. Yeah. Um, but he lied straight to my face because I was like, oh, XYZ. Do you have a? He was like, no, I'm single.
No, no, no,
I was
no,
like,
no,
do you
no.
have any pets? No.
No, if they lie to you about that, they're gonna lie to you about. If they lie to you about little things, they're gonna lie to you about big
No,
things.
literally.
Period.
Like it always starts with the small things too. Like, babe.
Jesus Christ, just be honest. Just be fucking
I know
honest.
that's the thing. I'm like a New Yorker. That's why I struggle so much. Cause I'm like, oh, I'm always honest. Even with like the tiffs with friends. Like you
Yeah.
saw me like literally confronting.
Yeah, I
Like
know. Well,
because
that was well
well, it
deserved.
wasn't really like, but you saw how like I was like confronting, but I was also being very stern. But I
Yeah.
also never allowed an argument between someone for me to allow someone else to treat my friend in a bad way either because
Mhm.
his phone died, whatever, right? Like, that other situation. I
Yeah.
don't want to name names, but like, it's like, but it's like, just be honest and you will get your point across. You don't have to really, like,
Well, the truth always comes out anyway.
you know,
The truth always has a way of coming out. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light every single time. You can only keep up a lie for so long, and then you have to start lying about the things that you're lying about, and then creating more lies to affirm the lies that you've already lied about. And then it just becomes so exhausting. It's like, can you just like straight from the jump be like, this is what it is? You'll find that people sometimes are more upset at the fact that you lied than what you lied about. Like, it becomes something bigger than what it is. when the core of the matter is why weren't you truthful in the first place? Like, what were you hiding? And sometimes it's something so fucking stupid. Like, you really created all that drama for that lie that wasn't even all that important. And now it became something snowballed into something way bigger than what it should have been. Like, it's so silly. It's like we do this to ourselves. And it's like, what? Are you a masochist?
Yeah,
Are you somebody who, like, likes to stir up drama in your own life?
I think it's just like one of those things. Yeah, it's like I think a lot of it, it's like people can't confront themselves, right? And the fact that their projection goes beyond their personality flaw, right? Their projection goes on to like them lusting after other people. Their projection goes on to the careers that they have. Their projection goes on to the coworkers. The projection goes into that person they mistreat, that person they, hide behind a screen to yell at or like
Yeah.
comment a nasty comment. It's like everything. Once you hide one thing, you're gonna want to hide everything, and like everything else that comes after that is projection.
Yeah. Well, that's why you have to make peace with all the parts of yourself that aren't so great. All
Yeah,
those yucky parts that you make you feel shame and like all those years of conditioning that you should feel shameful about XYZ. Like,
but that's why I'm so open about it.
come to terms with it. Come to terms with it. And like, you
Yeah,
don't have to carry that anymore. You don't have to carry the things that make you hurt other people in turn.
yeah,
It makes, that's just creating a life that's more lonely, more shameful because shame begets shame.
yeah. My therapist said something one time where she's like, "Your secrets keep you sick." And that was one of the biggest things, and that's why I love this podcast, like because I think it's like we both get to like vent a little bit and like also like talk the shit like that we're going through.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, girl, what you see is what you get. You meet me in person, I'm the same way as on social media. Like
Yeah.
I really am just like, I'm really honest about like what I'm going through. It's like, girl, I feel like shit right now about like my dating life, and it's like because it's real. It's like, why would I lie about it? And then someone come in the woodworks being like, he's lying. It's like that's just extra shit I don't need. Like, because why would I lie?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I mean, dating is hard, relationships are hard. I think that nobody has it all figured out. And even my friends in relationships still struggle. They struggle with themselves, they struggle with the way that they feel and the insecurities that they have because all of that gets brought to the table when you're with somebody else. Like, it doesn't just go away because you're in a relationship. Like, if anything, it gets harder because now they're loving you as a whole person, not just the highlight reel. Because we're attracted to the highlight reel. Like, we're
Yeah.
attracted to those
But that's why I get
shiny,
vulnerable
sexy
really
things.
fast, which I think scares a lot of people away.
Well, I mean, it's gonna happen
I'd
anyway.
rather scare away the wrong person though, like wrong
Yeah.
people, because I saw this quote this morning actually. It was right before you got here actually.
Ooh.
It was kind of like it was like a lot of the times we chase like relationships because maybe because we spent our entire lives like wishing that maybe someone could love, like if we could be loved in a relationship, maybe then that means like we are lovable,
Yeah.
or like something like that. Like I have to find it, but like
That's weird that you say that because I don't remember when I had this experience. But you know how you just have like moments in your life where like you remember things and you're like weird points in your life. I
yeah.
remember when I was younger, people were like, "What's your biggest fear?" This must have been high school. It was like, I fear I'm gonna die alone." Which is why, when you're a teenager, are you afraid of that? Like, what were you conditioned to thinking, or like, what terrible self esteem did I have at that point in time? And growing up is hard. Being a teenager is really hard. It's really confusing. There's a lot of
And
emotions
then
and
when you have
hormones.
mean kids,
Yeah, or you see everybody in a relationship, and like, then you start to be like, well, why am I not pretty? Why am I not being kissed? Why don't boys like me? XYZ. Like, it's all fucking bullshit, you know? But now it's like the fact that I look at that younger version of myself and I'm like, my heart breaks for her because it's like, honey, like, that's the least of your concerns. Like, you're afraid you're going to die alone. Like, you're never going to die alone. You have so many people who love you. It's not a partner. Half the time I was in relationships, I was so fucking miserable. Like, I was like,
the wrong relationship will make you ugly.
yeah, it's like, yeah, I definitely think I got hotter.
I mean, you're always hot, but
No, but
like,
like, I do look at pictures of myself, and over the years, I'm like, there's some correlation between the way
I
I,
mean, no, but literally since I've like started going to therapy, even like since I was like 17, right? Like
yeah,
throughout the years, like even my friends are like, Dean, why are you looking younger than you did in college?
you
I'm
glow
like,
differently.
genetics, but also, yeah, I really feel you on the childhood thing because
Yeah,
I think we must be synced mentally, like
yeah,
mentally illness wise too. But like literally like yesterday night, like before I was going to bed, I was thinking about like my childhood self because I was thinking about like, like if I would go to the past, like what I would ever change. And like I definitely want to give like a hug to my younger self, but I remember always constantly thinking, because of the childhood home I grew up in, I was always like, I cannot wait to, because it was always my destiny to come here since I was like so young. I
Same.
wanted to leave. I was like, I just am trying to get out. Like, I need to get out because maybe then, like, if I get out of here, I will finally find people who will love me.
Well, you found people who love you,
Yeah.
but do you love you?
I think that I don't love myself 100%. I don't think so. And I don't think that's ever going to happen, and I don't know what's going to happen, so I can't really predict it. I'm not going to make
Mhm.
it finite, but I don't think like 100%, but like I love myself more than I did, I think, years ago. That
Yeah.
landed me in rehab. But I do like
Yeah.
most days I think love myself a lot more than I used to, which I think has helped me with like making good friends because I've never had a friend like the friends in my life, and I've never had friends like you in my life before who actually gave a shit about me and did things for me as well. Like things were never reciprocal, like, and so I think like I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Of course. And everyone deserves to find reciprocal love and relationships that make them feel good. And I think that's important. Human connection is really important. It's I think all of us, if we can go back and like you remember that like if you could have a coffee with your younger self, yada yada yada. And there's like so many things I would love to tell my younger self, like bitch, that club that you snuck into underage, you're still going to that club. And now
I'm
you're living up
dead.
the street from that club. And that boy that you cried over, when he cheated on you and like,
He's in jail. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Maybe.
He's probably working at the Red Lobster right now. Who knows? Who
Hey, free
knows if he is or
biscuits.
not?
Free biscuits.
Hey. So like all those boys that you cried over and there was a time when I was in college that a whole fraternity was like called me fat and they were laughing about me behind my back in a group chat and like I felt
It fucks
so
you
sad and
up.
like those moments where you just feel like you're being made fun of for like you know
The way you look.
the way I look or like who likes me or they're making fun of the guy for hooking up with me or liking me and I'm like jokes on you motherfuckers.
Yeah, no, literally. And they're just probably
you
insecure.
know and I'm just like there was a guy in the fraternity that stuck up for me and he was a gay guy who I danced with and he was like we don't do this, we are not, this is not the behavior of people that
What's that
are.
talk?
No, it was not. No, it was a different fraternity.
Oh,
And that's funny, I ended up dating the president of that fraternity for a
oh
couple
my God,
years. It
stop.
was a full circle moment, but like no, but it's just like all these things in your life, like these moments that like you remember and the way that they make you feel. Like I would just tell
It
like
still
this
affects
younger
me.
version of me and be like, what, it's all chatter, honey. Like all this is chatter because while I'm sorry that you're going through this right now, it's going to build character and it's going to help you go through the other side and you will be somebody that if you see that behavior, you're like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. We're not propagating this bullshit. Like you're going to learn a lot about yourself, but like trust that everything that's happening to you right now is for your best and highest good and you will grow immensely because of all
Yeah.
these things that have happened to you.
And I think like I wouldn't even go back to change anything
Yeah,
either because I
you
think it
can't.
really did like make me, because I think even so two things. It's like one thing, it's like I remember as a kid, like, what my dream job as a kid was? To be a mailman because I wanted to make people happy.
I wanted to be the ice cream man.
Oh, both of us. It's giving pedophile. I'm just kidding. No, but like both is like okay, no, but for me it was genuinely like when my mom asked me, and they still laugh about this to this day. I'm like, what did you want to be? I was like, I wanted to be a mailman because I wanted to bring people's packages because I don't know why. I always saw my neighbors and like people like when they got packages, they were always happy. And
But
so I always like as a kid, you're very easily affected. So I always thought I'm like, oh, if I get to bring people packages, I can make people smile. And that makes me happy.
that like actually makes you want to cry.
And that made me, I think, a people pleaser.
Not
Or
even
like,
that, but like the no, that like that actually kind of makes you want to cry in the weirdest way because like I don't know, this is the weirdest thing to cry over. This is so fucking weird, but like that is the most innocent and pure thing. Like that is what people should genuinely be wanting to do. It's like you want to bring joy. And it's like that is that when you're a child before the world has tainted you, you have that innocence and you see the goodness in other people. And like that's like ice cream man. I just wanted to make
yeah,
people happy,
I
And
know.
it's like because that's joy and human connection. And that's beautiful. And I know people, adults laugh because like, ha, no, the mailman's an important job. The garbage people are important jobs. Ice cream mans are important jobs. Like these are jobs that bring services to other people, and they're valid.
And I never like
Yeah.
thought about it until like I really dissected it. It's like, why did I want
Why
to
am
do
I?
that?
Wow, that
Oh
was
my God,
weird.
I know.
That was really, really crazy. That
I already cried today, so
I
that's why
got
I'm not crying.
emotional about you wanting to be the mailman.
I
Wow.
mean, but I think it really does relate though to both of us, where it's like you wanting to be the ice cream man, ice cream
Yeah.
person, whatever, and me wanting to work in mailbox because we just wanted to make people happy, and it actually reflects in our adult life where we people please.
Yeah, I'm being less of a people pleaser,
I mean, I've been trying to do it less, honestly, and honestly, me not being a people pleaser anymore, I'm like, okay, now let's see who's cool with me.
Yeah.
Let's see if I don't let you to like cross my boundary and I never hear from you. Good, great,
Bye.
fucking bye. But like, I think we need to be more careful on our projections onto the like when people are on like when they're kids and stuff because like I relate so hard to not in the same scenario in college, but it was earlier for me, like when I was 12, 11, 12, 13, whatever, 14. When people like used to bully the shit out of me for my weight.
Hmm.
And yeah, like people used to call me like they wouldn't even say my name. They would be like, "Hey chubby," or like "Hey fatso," like in high school, whatever, like the beginning of high school before I lost weight. And then it just makes you as a kid because that's when you're developing still, your brain. And so almost more than half my life before like all the shit I've like, try to like start healing and stuff, almost more than half my life, I've equated my worth and lovability and enoughness to how I looked. Because once I lost weight, the world loved me.
They treat you differently.
Everyone saw me as an inspiration, and
Yeah. Trust me. Yeah.
even even
You're
my parents
treated
treated me
differently.
better. Yeah, and like
Yeah.
the way people looked at me without disgust, etc. No one would be actually commenting on what I was eating. Like they would be like, "Oh, you're so, whatever." Like you were just like a completely different person in their eyes or like a projection of them that they had of you. And I think that fucked me up. And so to tie that all up, it's like you're what people say and what people like have done to you in your childhood, like it really like affects you and like
It
whoever. Yeah.
does. Well, and to that point, you know, the children that said horrible things to you that were unkind, they learned that from somewhere. And where do you think they learned that from? Probably their household. And that their household, that was propagated by things that they learned when they were children. And just the cycle continues
Yeah.
of of being cruel to other people. And,
And you have to break it,
you have to break
even in
it.
my family, like I think
Have to.
my parents were very unreceptive and like always reactive until I like kept on reinforcing shit. And like
Mhm.
my relationship with them is definitely a little bit better,
That's
and like
good.
because I come with everything with once I dealt with my own shit, I was able to come at them with love regardless of how they
Hmm.
reacted, which is I think it's such a big growth thing
Yeah.
instead of being angry because that wasn't going to accomplish anything. It would just be like yelling back and forth,
Hmm.
But I think it's because I took, again, like you said, things getting passed down. Everything mean that I say to myself now is what I've learned from my peers, my parents, people close to me, what the world told me when I was younger.
Yeah.
Everything my mom was insecure about, I was insecure about.
Well, yeah.
Everything that she yelled at me for is what I yell at myself for. Everything that she did to force me to try to lose weight is the things that drove me so deep into my like bad eating shit.
Hmm.
Like, I think I
Hmm.
told you this
Oh,
before.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so it's like all of this is learned
Yeah.
behavior, babe. Like all of it.
All of it is. It is. It's heavy. It's a lot of undoing. Yeah, and like that's why in these one-sided relationships with people, it's like I'm not going to chase after like conditional love and affection. I'm not going to chase after that, ounce of the breadcrumbing. I'm not going to try to like do the most to get the least amount of, you know, get the least out of it. Like I'm not doing that anymore. Like I don't need to be chosen in that way. Like that I don't have to sacrifice myself to try to be the version that somebody wants me to be. And even then that's probably still not going to suit their needs. Like you unlearn it. It's not the
Yeah.
most important thing.
I like
It's
heard of
not.
this from Matthew Hussey that kind of reminds me of that and helped me a little bit that I've been trying to implement. You got to look at the investment gap.
Hmm.
You look at the investment gap. Look at the motherfucking investment gap. If you're investing too much and the other person isn't, it's like
Mm-mm.
you are gonna have most of the liabilities. I was
Absolutely.
like, holy fuck, that's so true. Because I think we mistake and like invest too fast in people instead of just being like, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Or, the script gets flipped. They invest a lot at first, and then you think you're safe to invest, and then it's like,
oh, those are just like those are the what do you call it? The anxious, the
yep.
avoidance. Yeah, because they like the experience of getting closer, and then like once they get it, they
It's
like
like, ugh.
are
Yeah.
afraid.
Everyone has their own shit that they're dealing with, and all we can do is focus on our shit, and
Yeah,
come
but
see, come sa.
so
The
yeah,
the world keeps a turning.
it does. But
It
if you're
does.
dealing with I feel like a lot of people deal with they just don't say it. I feel like a lot of the time, but I'm like if you're dealing with like feeling lusted over, just know that you're not alone. Like I think a lot of people feel that even if you like you are the most secure whatever person, I think like sometimes you could still feel it from other people, like feeling
Mm,
lusted over versus loved. And I think it's your choice to either stay in that situation where you feel lusted over or leave, right? And
mm,
I think I have to learn how to catch it faster and also like leave faster. And
mm.
also,
Set a boundary.
you know,
Boundaries are healthy.
it's always easier said than done though, girl. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's lifelong unlearning. Unfucking your brain. Unfuck your brain to not get
Oh
fucked.
yeah, wait, what's that book? It's like a book or
Yeah.
whatever. I think it's a book or whatever, but yeah. Fuck. Okay. But anyway,
Yay.
love you, girly pop. Thanks for listening to our vulnerability. And, let us know if you're going wherever you're going through.
Yeah.
You can find us on Instagram, whatever.
Hmm.
My name is Dean.
And I'm Emily.
And we love you. And we
Love you.
hope that you're having a great month thus far. And hopefully by now these shirts are dropped. I need to get Emily one. These came as samples, so I cut it as a little thing, but
Yay.
mwah.
Mwah.
Bye.